Now let's move on to exercise 5, right? Look, working pairs, look at this writing task and answer the questions at the top in the next column. Did you answer all of them? Yes? Okay. Sub number 1, read that and tell me the answer.
What does the table show?
Okay. So what does this show?
It shows
You don't look at everything. They ask you, what does the table show? You just look at the table only, not the bar chart, okay? The table.
it shows the percent of travelers for the transport
Mm-hmm.
and the average age of travelers.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, now I'm going to fix that for you so you can write the correct sentence, okay? Alright, so number 1, what does the table show? You can say like it shows the percentage of people it shows the percentage of people who use each form of transport, right? So that's the first column. Actually, that is the second column. But it shows the percentage of people who use each form of transport. So that's the first thing it shows, right? And the second thing is you can write and their average age. So the table shows two things, okay? The percentage of people who use each form of transport, that is the second column. And the third column, their average age or the average age of travelers, right? Okay? So that's good. So that's number 1. Now number 2, Yahang. Just read the question first. Yes, which is the most common means of transport? What's that?
The most common means of transport is car or one person.
Yeah, car, one person, right? Yes, you can write a full sentence there. You say the most common means of transport is car, one person, right?
Can we just say
Yeah, you can write car, one person because this is not like car, one person, right? It is not the essay yet. You don't have to write the essay here. You just answer some questions just to make sure you understand everything there, okay? All right, number 3, Bunan.
Which is the least common.
Yeah.
The least common is cycle or walk.
Yes, you can write cycle, walk there, okay? All right, the least common means of transport is cycle, walk, here, right here, only 4%. Now number 4, Duy Tăng. So which group of travelers has the highest average age? So we look at average age here, right? So which group? Yes, train, bus. You can say train, bus, travelers, right? Because they say like which group of travelers, so you can say train, bus, traveler, train, bus, travelers. Yeah. All right. Number 5. Kick.
Which group of travelers has the lowest average age? The group of travelers has the lowest average age is circle or walk with 39.
Yeah. So the answers for number 5 is cycling or walking travelers, right? Cycling, walking travelers, or sidewalk travelers. Because here they say which group of travelers has the lowest average age. You can say cycle, walk, travelers. If you want to use a little bit more accurate, then you say cycling, walking, travelers. Okay. You can say like cycling or walking, travelers. It's fine. Now number 6. Stop.
Does the chart show
Okay, now we look at the chart, right? What does the chart show?
CO2 emission from different transport?
Yes, it shows CO2, carbon dioxide emissions from different forms of transport. But that's just the first line, right? Look at the line at the bottom, because we want to describe as much information as possible here. Make sure that we cover everything, all of the important thing there. Okay, so we have yes, kilograms per person per kilometer. Okay, so that is kind of the units there, kilograms per person per kilometer, right? CO2, that is carbon dioxide. You just write CO2, that's fine for me. But later in writing, we can change that because we don't want to use the same word again and again, right?
So which one is the correct answer?
So you can write CO2 emissions from different forms of transport. So that's the thing you have to write first. In kilograms per person per kilometer. CO2 emissions from different forms of transport in kilograms per person per kilometer. So that's what it shows. Yeah. All right, number 7. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So which forms of transport cause little or no pollution? Yes, no pollution, that is cycle or walk, we don't see anything. And little pollution, bus or train, right? So you can write cycle, walk, train, bus there, fine. Okay. Cycle, walk, and Then we have bus or train, right? Okay, good. Banana number 8.
Which form of transport causes the most pollution?
Yeah.
The form of transport causes the most pollution is car, driver, or traveler.
Yeah. No. We don't put travelers there. Traveler is not a form of transport. So which form of transport causes the most pollution? That should be car driver only. Okay. So you just write you write car driver only there. Yeah, car driver only. If you look at the table, what is that? It's similar as what? Car driver only from the bar chart is similar to car one person, yes, from the table. Okay? Alright, done. So this exercise is there to help you understand more about the table and the bar chart. That's it. Okay? Now let's move on to the next one. Exercise 6. Duy Tân.
Read the sentence giving an overview of the information and tell the correct option in italic.
Yeah, read this sentence giving an overview of the information and choose the correct options in italics, right? Now read that and choose. Finish already? So this is an overview of the information, right? And choose the correct options in italics. Overall, cars with just the driver are the most or the least common means of transport to work. So which one? What is the first one? The most or the least? Yeah, the most, so you can underline that, yeah? You're gonna line most. The most common means of transport to work and cause more or less pollution than all the other means of transport combined. What's that? More, right? More. So overall, cars with just the driver, you can see there, right? Car with just the driver or car one person, what are the most common means of transport? Why do we know that is the most common means of transport? Why? No. So which one should we look at? The table, not the bar chart. Because when we say cars with just the driver are the most common means of transport to work, we have to look at the table, not the bar chart, because the bar chart doesn't show which one is the most common means of transport. Only the table shows which one is the most common means of transport, right? Why do we know car with just one driver is the most common means of transport? Why? Why? Tell me. You need to, now I'm teaching you to understand everything here. Tell me, why? What do you know? Not pollution, stop, look at the table, not the bar chart. Yeah, Hung, why? 59% of travelers use that. Use what? No. Look at that. Cars with just the driver. They don't talk about cars in general. So when you say 59%, you only combine car one person and car more than one person together, right? But no. So which row, guys, which row on the table shows that car is the most common means of transport?
Percentage of travelers per form of transport.
That is a column. I need a specific number.
48.
48%, right? 48%. Okay? So based on that, you see, car one person, 48%, car more than one person, 11%, cycle, walk, 4, train, bus, 37%. So that's why cars with just the driver, that means car one person, is the most common means of transport to work. Okay? Now the next one, and cause more pollution than all the other means of transport combined. Why can we write like this? Why can we write like this? Why do we know that cars with just the driver cause more pollution than all the other means of transport combined?
Because now we look at the bar chart
Mm-hmm.
and then we see car drivers only.
Yeah.
And then we see that this is more than the other.
With more than others. Now tell me a specific number. Now exactly how many kilograms of CO2 or carbon dioxide emitted or released from cars driver only? Yes, more than 0.3 kilograms per person per kilometer. Okay? You look at this yellow or orange, I don't know. Yellow, let's say yellow, okay? You look at the yellow bar there. You see car driver only releases more than 0.3 kilograms per person per kilometer of carbon dioxide. Okay? How about car for people? How many kilograms per person per kilometer?
More than 0.05.
Yes, more than 0.05. Maybe somewhere like 0.07. We can say about 0.07. Okay? How about bus or train?
0.1.
Yeah, maybe 0.01, something like that. Okay? Or maybe less than that, 0.005, something like that. Okay? Cycle or walk, almost nothing. Now, guys, why can we write like cause more pollution? Yes, we see it caused the most pollution there, right? Car driver only, it causes the most pollution there. But why can we say that it causes more pollution than all the other means of transport combined? Why can we say that?
Because like the bus and train and cars for people, if they combine to each other, then they still won't also be enough, because bus and train is very little.
Yeah, for example here, look. For cycle or walk, you have almost 0%, 0 kilograms per person per kilometer, right? Bus and train, how much? You can add them together and you will say bus and train how much? Like 0, I can say like 0.001 or 0.005, something like that, okay? Something like 0. Let's write 0.01, easier for us to calculate, okay? And then car for people, how many? Somewhere like Yeah, something like 0.07, right? So when we add them up together, how much do we have? 0.08, something like 0.08, right? Kilograms per person per kilometer. Compare with car driver only, we have 0.3, more than 0.3 kilograms. Now you see, all of the other means of transport combined only releases 0.08 kilograms of carbon dioxide per person per kilometer. Okay? While car driver only alone releases more than 0.3 kilograms per person per kilometer. You understand? So that's why we can write something like that, and I must say this is a very good overall. This is a very good overview. You understand? Yeah? So when you do writing, you must be able to see something like that as well. And that's what you should write in an overview. You see, in the overall, they have to write about two things, the bar chart and also the table, right? From the table, they see something, the most common thing, and then the bar chart, what is the thing they can see later, the trend or something they can see clearly. Okay? That's what you have to write in an overview. Got it? Yeah? Okay. This one is very important, guys, otherwise you can never get more than 6. Alright, now exercise 7, Kick, read that.
Work along, write your answer to the writing task in exercise 5 when you write.
Yes. Work along, write your answer to the writing task in exercise 5. When you write, use your answers to the questions in exercise 5 so you can use them, you understand more, right? All of the questions are there to help you so you can write based on that. And then use these paragraphs to structure your answer. First of all, what do you need? You need an introduction saying what the table and chart show. You have to say, oh, the table shows what? And then the bar chart shows what? You understand? That is your introduction. And then you have to say what? Yeah, in the body. Next, that is the body, right? The percentage of people using each type of transport. So what are you describing here? Yeah, which one? Because we have, remember, we have a table and a bar chart. So this one, the percentage of people using each type of transport, we are trying to describe what?
Table.
Yeah, we are trying to describe the table here, right? Yes. So in the body, the first paragraph of the body we use to describe the table. Next, the average age of people traveling by each type of transport. What is this? What are we trying to describe here?
Table.
Yeah, the table. Remember, the table had two columns, two main things, which you have to describe. The first thing is the percentage of travelers perform a transport, and the second one is the average age of traveler. See that? So that means that in the body you have to use two paragraphs for the two columns on the table. See that? And then for the fourth paragraph, you see here they say the CO2 or carbon dioxide emissions for each form of transport. So what are we trying to describe here?
Chart.
Yeah, the bar chart. We are trying to describe the bar chart on the fourth paragraph. Okay? Lastly, an overview. If you wish, you can use the overview from exercise 6. No, I agree that the overview from exercise 6 is really good, but you should write your own overview, right? So finally, you have to write an overview. You understand? Normally, you need to write kind of the general trend or kind of the key things there. But here, because you have one table and one bar chart, so of course in your overview you have to describe both of them. But one thing you need to keep in mind is that you should not write things in details. Do you understand? For the overview, you don't write things in detail. You write the general trend, the overview only, not the details. Yeah, the detail is something like the number. You don't add any number there. Do you understand? You just say which one is the biggest, which one is the smallest, like that. But you don't add any number there in the overview. Got it? Yeah? Okay. Next one, exam advice. Writing task 1. Stop, read that.
Think about
And analyze.
analyze the information in the charts and tables. Before you write, organize the information into paragraphs and include a general overview. Make sure that you compare information in the chart and table.
Yes, these are the things you need to keep in mind. Now let's read that again. Let me tell you. Here, to do writing task 1. This is writing task 1, okay? What should you do? First of all, think about and analyze the information in the charts and the table before you write. That's what we did, yes, last time, right? And today. Okay, we try to analyze everything here and we try to understand everything here. So that's the first step you have to do before writing. You don't just jump in and write. You have to understand everything first before writing. Got it? Next, what should you do? Organize the information into paragraphs and include a general overview. So the organizing the information into paragraphs is what we see in exercise 7 here. See that? They show you 5 paragraphs. So you need to write or to use that structure. You understand? You have 1 introduction, 3 paragraphs for the body, and 1 overview. Got it? So that's the structure. Lastly, make sure that you compare information in the chart and the table. That means you have to compare the information when you say, oh, this one is bigger than the other one, or this one is slower or faster or something, or more than that, okay? Yeah, so that's what you have to do. Sometimes you even have to compare the table and the bar chart. It really depends on the task, okay? Here probably you only need to compare the information from different groups or different categories on the table together, and then you compare different categories or groups on the bar chart together. That's what you have to do. If you don't make any comparisons, you will get less than 4. Okay? All right. Now you can do it. Yeah. Do it. You want to do it now, or you want to do the key grammar first? Key grammar and spelling first. Key grammar first? Yeah? Okay, then let's move on to the next exercise so you understand more about the key grammar and also some spelling things here. It's also fine for me. And then finally you need to write that one anyway, okay? Because everything we are doing here just to jump to the last thing, the final thing, that's writing, right? We are learning. Everything just to do writing. We don't just do some exercises here, just for fun, just fill in some words and that should be enough. No. Okay? Now key grammar. The first one, making comparisons. Oh, really good. So you learn about making comparisons, right? So you know how to write. After learning about the key grammar and spelling, make sure that you apply them in your writing task. You understand? We don't just learn or do the exercises for fun and we don't apply anything here. That means we are wasting our time. Okay, number one, complete this table. Then check your answers by reading the language reference. Language reference, I think that it should be somewhere almost at the end of the book, right? But no need, these things are very easy. You just write them there, fast. Language reference, if you want to have a look, then that should be on page 122. You can read everything from making comparisons there before doing things. Unit 3, you see Unit 3? Page 122, Unit 3, making comparisons.
Yes.
See that?
Yes.
Okay, we can read that together if you want. Yahan, read the first line.
Complete this table.
No, you don't understand. Open the book, page 122. Okay, read that. Trời ơi, nãy giờ mấy đứa không nghe thầy giải thích gì hết trơn ha. Unit 3, making comparisons. Look down there.
We can compare information using comparative and superlative adjectives and adverbs.
Yes. We can compare information using comparative and superlative adjectives and adverbs, right? Read the next one, Yahan.
We use comparative attributes most like to compare different things, places, or events.
Mm-hmm.
Bicycle, ball, quieter, and calm.
Yes, do you understand that? We use comparative adjectives plus than, like more than, better than, something like that, right? Plus than to compare people, things, places, or events. Bicycles are quieter than cars. And superlative, right?
Comparative adjective.
Comparative adjective, something like quieter. Okay? That is comparative. You can underline that. Quieter. In that case. Yeah. Okay, when I read the next one.
We use the first superlative adjective or adverb to compare one.
No, it's wrong. The next one.
We use a comparative adverb first, then to compare actions. You can get to work more quickly by car than by bus.
Okay? We use comparative adverbs. So above we use comparative adjectives, right? Here we use comparative adverbs plus than to compare actions. Above we use comparative adjective to compare people, things, places, or events. But here we use comparative adverbs to compare actions. For example, you can get to work more quickly by car than by bus. So we are comparing actions here. Okay? And the comparative adverbs here, what is that?
Compare it more quickly.
More quickly, yes, that is the comparative adverbs. More quickly. Okay? Duy Tân, the last one.
We use plus or superlative adjective or adverb to compare one person or with anyone or anything else in the group.
Yes, we use the plus a superlative adjective or adverb to compare one person or thing with everyone or everything else in the group, because we want to say, oh, that one is the best one or the worst one or something like that. Okay? So we can compare that one with the rest. We use the plus a superlative adjective or adverb to compare one person or thing, so that one thing with everyone or everything else. For example, I find trains the most comfortable means of transport. Okay? That means for this person, train is the best. That's why we say train's the most comfortable means of transport. Okay? Done. Oh, on the next page we have something like forming comparative and superlative adjectives and adverbs. Okay? Oh, these things actually, first of all, it's very easy. Secondly, you have to learn by heart. Okay? Now let's go through everything here. Forming comparative and superlative adjectives and adverbs. Okay, read the next one.
We add ER and EST to one syllable adjectives, symbol slower than the fastest.
Yes, we add ER and EST to one syllable adjectives. You understand one syllable adjectives, right?
Yes.
Something like slow, that's only one syllable. Slow, one syllable. Fast, one syllable. Okay? So we add ER or EST to one syllable adjectives. For example, we say slower than. And for the superlative adjective, we say the fastest. We add EST there. Okay? Got it? So read the next one.
Two symbols adjectives ending in Y. Note the Y changes to I easier than the happiness.
Okay, you understand that? Two syllable adjectives ending in Y. Note that the Y changes to I. For example, here we have easy. Easy. This is two syllables, right? Easy. Two syllables. So when we want to transform this one to the kind of the comparative form, we have to remove Y and we replace Y with I, right? And then ER, easier. Now, this is comparative. Yeah? And for superlative, we transform that to EAS, also Y become I, right? And the EST, easiest. Okay? So the same case for the next one, we have happy, happy, and we transform that happier, right? Y will become I, and then we add ER, and then here we transform that to, again, Y become I, and then EST, happiest. Got it? Rồi mấy cái này thực ra các bạn trong trường có lẽ là các bạn học nhiều rồi, cho nên ở đây mình đi qua một lần, cho nên các bạn sau đó các bạn phải lo mà học để mà nhớ luôn nha, không nhắc lại mấy cái này ở đâu. Ok? Got it? Alright, the next one. Stop.
For example, adverb
Yes, one syllable adverbs.
Faster.
Faster than or the hardest. Okay? Faster than the hardest.
Do we adverb with like fast will add er?
Yes, it's just the same as one syllable adjectives above. You see, above we have one syllable adjectives, we also add er and est. One syllable adverbs, we do the same thing. We add er and then or est. That's it. Yeah? Okay? One syllable adjective or one syllable adverb, we do the same thing. Only two syllable adjectives ending in y, we replace y with I and then we add er or est. Got it? Yeah? Good. Now next one. We add more and most to. Yeah, Hằng, read that.
We add more and most to adjectives with two or more syllables, except two syllable adjectives ending in one syllable.
Mm-hmm.
More efficient than the most complicated.
Yes, do you understand this? Yeah? Rồi, mấy cái này không khó, thầy giải thích lại một lần để cho lỡ bạn nào mà có không hiểu về ngữ pháp hay mất căn bản ngữ pháp, các bạn nghe nhìn cho kỹ vô nha. Mấy cái này sẽ không đi vòng vòng hoài đâu, tại vì cái này nó quá dễ rồi. Ok? Yeah. So here we say we have one syllable adjective adverb, we have two syllable adjectives. Now let's look at some adjective with two or more syllables. For example, like efficient, right? Efficient. How many syllables does it have? Three. Efficient. 3 syllables. Let's say this is a long one. 3 syllables. So we don't add er for comparative, or we don't add est for superlative. We don't do that. So how can we have comparative here? How can we have comparative for this? We add more here, and then, right? We add more than, or less than. You understand? Yeah? How about superlative? We don't add est for this. So how can we do this? We use most and then efficient, right? Remember when we use something like most, we have to use the. For superlative, we need the, okay? Like the happiest, the easiest, and here we need the most efficient. You understand? Okay? So for any adjective or adverb with 2 or more syllables, we do this, except the adjective ending in y. Except the adjective ending in y like this. Then we use this rule, okay? And the rest, you apply this rule for me, okay? Good. Now let's move on to adverbs with 2 or more syllables. Just the same, right? Yeah? Adverbs with 2 or more syllables, just the same as adjective with 2 or more syllables. We also use more than or less than. And we also use the most. Got it? Yeah? Alright, now let's move on to the next one. Some adjectives have irregular comparative and superlative forms. We have irregular verbs. So here we have the irregular forms of comparative and superlative. You understand? Irregular, that means it doesn't follow this rule. That's why we call them irregular. You understand? Irregular, that means they don't have any rules at all. They don't have any rules at all, and because they have no rules, you need to learn by heart. Okay? For example, we have good, right? Good. So this is an adjective. And we want to transform that to comparative. We transform that to what? Better. There's no rule for this. Don't ask me why. There's no rule. So you just learn by heart. Good, comparative, better. How about superlative? Superlative, what's that? Best. Of course, when we use superlative, you always add the before that. Okay, the best, the something, the. Next, we have bad. Comparative, worst. So this you have to learn. And then superlative, yeah, worst. Always add the here. I use that. You have to add the all the time. The worst. Okay, so the rest you have to learn yourself. For example, like far. Comparative, what do we have? Further. Further. Or farther. Okay? Further or farther. And this one we have furthest, farthest. Just like that column. Look at your book. Okay? And then many. We have more and most. Much will become more and most. Little will become less or least. You understand?
Yes.
So those words you have to learn by heart. Next one. Some adverbs have irregular comparative and superlative forms. For example, badly. Just like bad, we have worst and worst. See that? Yeah? Bad or badly, we have worst and worst. Good, just good for adjective, well for adverb. So we have better, best. See?
Yes.
Alright. Now the last thing. Oh, my God, we have a lot here. To say one thing is less than another, use less and least before the adjective or adverb. For example, traveling by plane is less dangerous than traveling by car. So here I only mentioned that. If it's more than something, you say more than. If it's less than something, you say less than. Okay? You want to compare more than or less than. That's it. Okay? Now, we need to learn about the spelling. We learn spelling as well. Okay, before that, you can have a break. Okay? Okay.